Okay, so I think that we're good to go. Okay, sorry about that, Tucker.
17.
So
Right.
we're going to move on to section 506, the annual budget of the downtown district on page 26. The town manager is required to submit the annual operating budget to the select board for approval for the next fiscal year. In the event that the budget is not approved by the select board is required to immediately return the budget to the town manager with recommendations for the manager's consideration. Appropriations other than from contributions, grants, and income shall be raised solely through district taxes that shall be assessed and collected as a tax on property as provided for in section 508 of this charter. This is one of those cross references that I wanted to flag where the language approved by the voters referenced a section that didn't exist. And the final charter proposal that was voted on in the town eliminated some of the sections that had been proposed in earlier drafts, but I did not acquire what those earlier drafts looked like. So the town may want to weigh in on whether that cross-reference, section 508, is correct. Section 507, downtown district taxes. District taxes are charges levied upon the owners of taxable properties located in the district, excepting those used exclusively for residential purposes, which shall be used to defray the expenses incurred in connection with the operation, maintenance, and repair of the district. So all property, excepting residential property, subject to the district tax. This is likely one of those benefits conferred structures, right? If the purpose of the district in each of those 13 subdivisions that we went through is about developing commercial activity within the district, then the benefits that are being conferred by the spending happening is for commercial purposes. And here they're saying non-residential properties, the commercial properties, are the ones that are going to be taxed for the purposes of encouraging commerce in the district. The district tax in subsection B, we're on page 27. For each property subject to the tax shall be based on a rate on each $100 of listed value of the property as adjusted under subsection C. The tax rate shall be determined by dividing the amount to be raised by the total value of the taxable properties on the grand list as adjusted. Subsection C.
Question.
No, Tucker, is that another case where it may not necessarily be needed?
It sounds like a restatement of how property taxes are assessed and adjusted. So I'll take a look and see if this is simply a restatement of what exists.
Thanks.
They may have felt it was necessary to articulate that here because it is an additional property tax, right? Beyond the standard municipal property taxes.
Okay.
It is likely also satisfying some standards for spelling out what the apportionment would be. Okay. I won't nerd out on methods of apportionment right now. See some blank stares in my direction. Subsection C, the tax in the district shall be set by the select board upon approval of the budget. And notices shall be given to the property owners April 1st of each year. The town treasurer shall collect unpaid district taxes as provided for. The collection of taxes under this charter. District taxes shall be a lien on properties. This is also something that is fairly standard in the law for property tax.
Representative.
Tucker, again, under that, so it says the district's tax shall be set by the select board on approval of the budget by the select board. And notice in writing thereof shall be given to owners of record as of April 1st. I don't see how that can actually happen. And an assessor or lister or whomever they are required to update their listings as of April 1st. So how can they give them notification of that when that may not even have occurred?
That is an excellent logistical question.
Are there two ways to read the as of April 1st? Because is it about the town or is it about the reporting of the valuation? Like whose April 1st deadline is it?
April 1st, as this is currently written, modifies the preceding term. This is a modifying clause. Owners of record as of April 1st. So whoever the owner of record is as of April 1st, that is who the notice will be provided to. So the district taxes may be set at a later date, but the notice will be given to the owners of record as of April 1st.
So it's not by April 1st. It's that whoever owns it as of April 1st is the one that's going to get the subsequent notice.
But what's that notice going to include?
It's going to include the district tax set by the select board.
Yeah, see, they can't set that tax yet.
I'll ask Abby Shepherd what the logistics are of this particular date and whether they would even know who the owners of record are for the ensuing year.
Thanks.
Okay.
This is work.
So
The spacing error.
So are we at the end of the downtown district piece here?
We're very close. We're very close.
Okay, so why don't we wrap up the downtown district and then I'll have a suggestion of how we proceed with this to make. So go ahead, Tucker, we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
We get to chapter 7.
Subsection D, there's going to be a problematic April 1st again. In the case of any property used for both residential and non-residential purposes within the district as of April 1st, the Board of Listers shall adjust the listed value for the purposes of determining the district tax under this section to exclude the value of that portion of the property used for residential purposes. The board shall determine the adjusted grand list value of the business portion of the property and give notice of the same as provided under applicable provisions of Title 32. Property owners are given the opportunity to file a grievance with the board and appeal the decision of the board as provided for under the general law. The filing of an appeal of the determination of the board and pendency of the appeal shall not vacate the lien on the property assessed. And district taxes must be paid and continue to be paid as they become due. And I'm making myself a note. I'm not looking up to see if Representative Higley is already beating me to the punch to look into how the Board of Listers in the town under their modified charter is balanced with the Department of Assessment in the BCA.
Yeah, because this is a pretty big job for the Board of Listers to have to do. And they've basically been taken out of the loop on appeals, but they haven't been dissolved completely here. Interesting. So
It's a lot of intersecting.
yeah, it's about time for us to break for lunch. So what I'd like to do when we come back after the floor is pick up with the consideration of the amendment removing annually from the Middlebury charter and see if we can move that along since I believe, are going to hear in emails from town officials that they want that flexibility similarly as we did with Alberg. So that'll be on our agenda for this afternoon to pick up our work there. And then if we could walk through the last few pages of this, if Tucker, if you're available after floor, I'd like to do that. And then if there are folks who have truly gone full GovOps on me, which I love, I'd love to have 3 or 4 volunteers to take a look at some of these questions that we flagged and come back with recommendations and also communicate with the town on trying to get an amendment together for us to consider in a week or so. let me know if you're interested in being on that subcommittee. We'll probably do a similar thing and similar process for the Lindenville charter, which I think will be equally, if not more complicated. I think the complications are different. This one, I assume, having not dug into the merger that far, but here we're looking at a rewritten charter that has a lot of provisions that have, really broad a delegation of authority that we need to kind of look at. Are we really wanting to go that far, or do we want to try to narrow what we're doing here in order to get St. Johnsbury's charter bill out? So that's going to be the task of the subcommittee that we're going to try to put together to work on this today. And then with the merger, it'll have a different set of questions around learning about utility and all of that. So there's a couple of opportunities to learn a little bit more and do some more detailed work. So if you're interested in this one, let me know over the next couple hours. We'll come back after floor and pick up our work on these